Hey everybody, this is Darren Rivers again, the Northwest Realtor, and welcome to another episode of Tee It Up with Darren. No, we're not on the golf course. We're actually at a home inspection because I'm interviewing John Ashlock of Ashco Home Inspections. He does, probably 95% of the home inspections for me, so he's my go-to guy. John, mind if I ask you a few questions?
Certainly.
All right, so why don't you tell me about you, your company, how long you've been at it, why you're better than the rest?
I've been in business for 15 years now with the state, licensed and bonded since 2007. I have A+ rating in the BBB, Google, and other search engines right now. In the full course of time, I've never had a complaint. All my reviews say I'm very thorough.
I have found that to be true.
I am currently on the state board for home inspectors on the executive committee, where we set the rules and regulations for all home inspectors across the state. And I'm also on the board for design review board for the city of Gig Harbor, where we help with new constructions coming into town that goes against the design manual. We help do designs to make it fit in our environment. Not only am I a home inspector, but I'm also a licensed pest inspector. So I do inspections for the wood destroying organisms in our environment. No, I absolutely love doing the job. I've been doing it forever, and I couldn't imagine not doing it.
Cool. And if you see his truck, there you go. That's his advertisement right there.
So for a home inspection, typically what I'm looking at are the 3 S's: your systems, your structure, and your safety. Systems would be your plumbing system, heating system, cooling system, and drainage system. Your structure is just that: your foundation, roofing, and framing. And safety is anything cause harm to yourself. The reason why I mentioned safety is existing houses aren't required to be brought up to modern code to be sold, but there's several items that should definitely be in all houses to make sure they're safe. Like today's house, we found there was no GFCI protection in the kitchens and in the bathrooms. That is a very small price to pay to add it in. That gives you a very high level of safety added on. When I'm doing my inspections, I really try to hit everything I possibly can, hence the thorough on my inspections. Everything is tested. I pull off the dead panel, all the plumbing. I look at the electrical panel for what type of wiring's in it, verify proper amperage. All the furnaces and water heaters and air conditioners are all tested. And if I can, which is 99% of the time, I'm walking up on the roof because I think that's a critical inspection point too. The last place I go is the crawl space, which is often entertaining, but that's where you find many of the issues for sure.
Especially the pests.
Definitely the pests. That's where you find your carpenter ants, your termites, and rodents are one of the biggest ones in our environment right now.
Or hopefully if you're buying a house, you don't find those things. But
Yep.
Okay, so in the last, this last year has been really weird with the real estate market just booming and people doing extreme things to buy a house to win the bids. So what have you seen on your end as far as inspections versus pre-inspections versus people waiving inspections, that sort of thing?
So compared to the last previous years, I would say the majority of my business has been what's called pass-fail inspections, where a person just, well, Darren, you can actually explain the pass-fail a little bit better than me, but they get to know everything that's wrong with the house, and they get to make the decision if they want to move forward, but typically not asking for items from the seller.
Right.
The pre-listing inspections, those picked up a tish on it because people did want to see if they had a report, then they were more likely to say, I don't need a home inspection because I trust that this was done and they know what's wrong with the house, on the seller side that is. I also tend to get a few more when it comes into the after inspections too. So they've already purchased the house, they've moved in, and they now just want a person to come in and tell them what they could have potentially found before they purchased the house too.
Or things to take care of right away. Yep. Now that they're the owner, so they don't get worse.
Yep. And then finally, really it's changing though. In the last month, I am actually starting to get ones where people are being able to ask for some items too. So the traditional home inspection, where here's your pull-it list and we'd like the buyer potentially to, or seller to potentially fix those items or give some money on it. So I'll be curious to see which way the market goes on it, but for a home inspector, it's very nice that a person's able to really absorb the information and think about it to be able to have the sale.
And it's better for a buyer because they're able to really be educated and not just throw all their chips in without totally knowing everything.
Yep.
So lastly, John, what do you love about this? I mean, I see you on a regular basis because you do a lot of inspections for me and you always seem to be liking it, but what gratification do you get out of doing this service?
It's really the people is by far the largest item. Every single person is different. You have first-time home buyers, people who have owned 4 or 5 houses. You have houses that are in the $300,000 mark, and I'm also doing houses that are in the $3 or $4 million mark. And all those buyers are different, and it's really fun to be able to meet them and talk to them and work with them and instruct them and teach them about the house they're potentially buying. And on that, every house is different too. I love being able to see the items that are in a house that have been in there for 5 years, 10 years, 100 years. And I use that information for what's on my own house.
Right.
It's like, I'll put that in my house or I'm not gonna put that in my house type situation. So it's really nice seeing the longevity of items that come into a house.
Very good. Well, everybody, that was John Ashlock. Like I said, my #1 go-to guy with home inspections. If you have any questions, gosh, his phone number is right there. Give him a call. Otherwise, we'll see you on the next episode. And it will be on the golf course next time. See you guys.